China is a very important country for the New York Stock Exchange. In my role as head of international capital markets, I believe in having one-on-one conversation where possible to develop early relationship with all our listed and our prospective companies. Hopefully, with more stability, perhaps the Fed is going to slow down or stop hiking, and more stability in the general marketplace will improve investor confidence and improve sentiment. Hopefully, that will allow for more deals to come in 2023.
Hello, Cassandra. Thank you for your time to attend our show.
Good to be here, Rafina.
Is this your first time to visit mainland China? What's the purpose of this visit?
No, this is not my first time in China. I've been to China. However, it is the first time with New York Stock Exchange. And the purpose of this visit is to join my team for one-on-one meetings with private companies who are interested in a U.S. listing. We're also seeing ecosystems such as bankers, lawyers, as well as listed companies who are on our platform right now in the New York Stock Exchange.
Mm-hmm. What's your feelings about this visit?
It feels really good. First of all, the weather is amazing. So I think I brought good weather to Beijing. But China has been really flourishing. Since I haven't been here for a while, I think the feeling is really good. And we are very interested in continuing our engagement with companies in our pipeline. China is a very important country for the New York Stock Exchange. In my role as head of international capital markets, I believe in having one-on-one conversation where possible to develop early relationship with all our listed and our prospective companies.
Mm-hmm. How important China is for NYSE?
It's very important. China is our second largest by the number of companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange outside of the United States. First being Canada, but second is China. And we expect companies to continue to come out from China to tap into the US market.
How to rebuild issuers and investors' market confidence?
There's volatility, and whenever there's volatility, it always affects investor sentiment. And the last, 15, 18 months in general, marketplace has experienced a lot of volatility, whether it is Fed interest rate hike, inflationary concern, bank run. It continues to be challenging market conditions for a lot of our investors. However, that said, I am hoping for more stability to happen. And last week was a great example where we saw a company called Kenvue, which was listed at the New York Stock Exchange. It was the largest IPO this year to date, where it raised $3.8 billion. And it really traded very well. So we felt good that was a very positive sign for the first large IPO to come out so far in recent past. And that has done really well.
Mm-hmm. This year, how many listing applicants are from China? What major sectors are they from?
So we are speaking to a lot of companies who have already selected us, and they're just waiting for the right market conditions to come out. So the pipeline continues to be quite strong. And I think once the market conditions is right, some of these companies will come out.
Mm-hmm. How do you think about the future of China concept stock?
I think it's still, rather promising. It really depends on market condition in general. And this is true for China as well as the rest of the world. With my role as head of international capital markets, I'm really focused on making sure that companies in every country has the ability to tap into the US market, understands the US value proposition. US is a very unique place for capital market. It is the deepest in liquidity. So we want to make sure that companies understand the process, our listing requirement, and are able to come and join us whenever it's right for them.
Mm-hmm. During visit, what do you learn from these potential listing companies?
I think they're still really interested in a US listing. It continues to be attractive vis-a-vis other exchanges. And many companies are really just asking us for advice on the process as well as the value proposition of what the New York Stock Exchange can offer them. Our platform is amazing and really the best in the world. And with the deepest liquidity, we are attracting a lot of companies that are interested in a strong public debut as a public company and they really have aspiration to grow globally. So we partner with a lot of companies to help them enhance their visibility, as well as making sure that we're helping them grow in their footprint and to attract international investors, as well as future potential customers.
We know that last year NYSE signed 5 more with other exchanges. How do you assess these corporations?
Yeah, so MOUs are really for us to establish a formal communication channel between us and another exchange. So these MOUs are a great way for us to collaborate between two exchanges and information sharing, for example, in capital markets for dual listings, in ETFs, as well as indexes. We really enjoy the collaboration, and I think it really helps other companies in those countries feel like they could access the US market easily.
Mm-hmm. In contrast to other exchanges, what's the advantage of NYSE?
I think the New York Stock Exchange has a true unique value proposition. Number one, it has 231 years of history. It has a gold standard of listing requirement, and it aids to a lot of credibility. The New York Stock Exchange also has the deepest liquidity pool. So it has a very strong, prestigious platform that it can offer to companies that are looking to access US capital markets. Additionally, the New York Stock Exchange is also quite unique in our trading model. Our trading is basically leveraging state-of-the-art technology as well as human oversight to ensure that companies who are trading with us have the least amount of volatility and have the best amount of volume and transactions through our marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Besides MOUs, what's your strategy for attracting more international applicants?
So, I believe in having as much face-to-face meetings as possible. My team have boots on the ground. For example, in China, we have a team in China that focuses on engaging with our mainland Chinese companies. And we have the same type of business model across the world. So in Latin America, in London, that covers EMEA, in Singapore, that covers the rest of Southeast Asia, and Canada, for example. It is just a model where I feel like our team is well positioned to act as advisor to companies that are finding ways to want to tap into the US market and want to understand what the New York Stock Exchange offers.
What additional actions did NYSE take for supporting international applicants?
Sure. We really want to grow our international companies' footprint. So what the New York Stock Exchange has done recently is we have offered a few ESG-related services for companies. For example, we have a board advisory council where there are 600 board-ready, diverse candidates in our database. And these 600 candidates are available to our companies that are looking to add board members to their board of directors. And they are looking for diversity. They're looking for candidates that have a very strong skill set. That board advisory council is a great free tool and service for our companies. Additionally, we have also recently launched the Sustainability Advisory Council, SAC. And this advisory council meets frequently to discuss the best practices that relate to ESG matters. And that is also a fantastic platform. The NYSE Institute was also launched in 2022. And that was a great advocacy platform for our listed companies on important current affairs. And we think that we just have a fantastic platform that we can leverage for our community of listed companies.
So in terms of ESG, it's a very hot topic. What's your advice for enterprises
ESG means different things to different companies. We believe in offering tools and services to companies as much as possible. And it has worked out really well in some of the examples I talked about earlier, whether it is making sure that their board looks a certain way, have the right skill set, have a diverse perspective, or in discussing matters such as climate or net zero pledge. Every company has their own priorities. We have an ESG viewer that allows them to look across their peer group and see what is being reported and allow for them to also do similar reporting. So it's just a great way to offer many ESG tools to our listed community as well as our prospective companies.
Mm-hmm. We are almost at the middle of this year. Would you like to go over the IPO market in the first half of 2023?
So the first half of 2023 remains rather volatile. The Fed continues to be hiking. Inflation is still a really big concern. And additionally, the bank run in recent situation was not exactly helping capital markets. So, I think 2023 has been slower than expected for the first half. And, with Kenvue that really, traded very well last week, we're hoping that it's a strong first positive momentum for a large transaction to take place so smoothly. Hopefully, this opens up the window to more new companies coming in. So I'm hopeful for the second half of 2023.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to talk a little more about how the banking crisis affected the IPO market?
It really just, is another form of volatility. So, bank run or Fed hike or, any kind of other situation that is sometimes unexpected generally will cause volatility concern. And as such, it tends to put a damper on capital markets.
Which listed route is more attractive, traditional IPO, SPACs, or others?
So we believe in providing a platform that has various ways for private companies to come and become a public company. And companies can choose which method makes the most sense. It could be traditional IPO, it could be through direct listing, it could be through SPACs. We want to create an innovative approach so that companies can find the right path that makes the most sense for them. We don't have a preference. We are here to help our companies no matter which way they choose.
Why did we see a fewer SPACs?
So, as I mentioned earlier, volatility in 2022 and first half of 2023 in general has reduced the amount of new listings. And that is the case for SPACs as well. So, SPACs may continue to be around for a while. We just want to make sure that we are providing access to companies to come in and tap the US market in any way they want, whether it is through a traditional IPO, SPACs, or a direct listing. But, as the market improves, you might see more come out. But at this time, the focus is really on making sure that companies who are interested in tapping the market here in the US understand the ways to do so.
So how do you think about the second half of 2023?
As I said, I'm hopeful. But additionally, I think generally speaking, market is cyclical. So as we see more, companies that are waiting for the right moment, at some point, there is going to be some equilibrium between the valuation expectation on the investor side as well as on the private company side. Hopefully, with more stability, perhaps the Fed is going to slow down or stop hiking, and more stability in the general marketplace will improve investor confidence and improve sentiment. Hopefully, that will allow for more deals to come in 2023.
All right. Thank you, Cassandra. I think we finished all questions today.
Thank
you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.